the woman who received the most taxpayer money from daycare reimbursements in Minnesota last year just pleaded guilty to fraud. Thanks for joining us at 5 on air and streaming live. I'm Rena Sargentopoulos.
And I'm Kevin Holmes. Fahima Mahamud is the first defendant in the state's massive daycare fraud scheme, admitted to scamming 2 federal programs.
And she'll now have to pay millions of dollars back. Our Lou Goose was in the courtroom today. Here now with our top story. Lou?
Rena and Kevin, Fahima Mahamud seemed reluctant in the courtroom to enter the guilty plea because she didn't want that to mean that her entire operation was a fraud. 5 months after she shut down her daycare, booked a flight to London, and was arrested by the FBI.
Ms. Mahamud, are you here to plead guilty today?
50-year-old Fahima Mahamud admits she committed daycare fraud. Running Future Leaders Early Learning Center on 36th and Chicago Avenue in Minneapolis since 2015, Mahamud collected the most Child Care Assistance Program, or CCAP, money in the state last year at $3.7 million. In federal court while entering her plea, Mahamud and her attorney specified that there were children attending her daycare and that she has receipts. But the government didn't accuse her of inflating attendance at her center during the swift investigation that followed the attention in Minnesota placed on daycare fraud. Instead, the FBI learned from families that Mahamud did not charge them the required copay to receive CCAP money, which provided incentive for more families to sign up. By pleading guilty to conspiracy to defraud the United States, Mahamud admits receiving $4.63 million in taxpayer money with that scheme.
Ms. Mahamud, any comment? Are you going to be able to pay back any of the money?
That's not all. Mahamud also admits taking part in the Feeding Our Future meal fraud scheme, claiming to serve up to 60,000 meals per month to needy kids out of her daycare, fraudulently collecting another $850,000. And court papers say she diverted much of those taxpayer funds to buy real estate and go toward her other companies, like this autism center, which has generated another $3.1 million in taxpayer reimbursements over the last 5 years. What the government will seize when Mahamud is sentenced has not yet been determined. And sentencing will be slightly complicated because the judge can go as low as 2 years in prison or close to 7 years in prison if she puts the daycare fraud and the meal program fraud terms back to back. Rena.
Now, Lou, they used a different kind of prosecution. This went a little bit faster. Will we see something like that in the future?
This was a faster investigation because they didn't have to do all the surveillance to see if she was overcounting or inflating her numbers of her attendance. She wasn't making the parents pay their share of the reimbursement in order to get more of them to sign up. If there's other ones just like that, it's a quick way that they could charge more people with daycare fraud.
All right, Lou. Thank you.